After spending roughly 6 hours in the Arc Raiders playtest, I can confidently say that this game is bringing some much needed, awesome changes to the genre. And I'm not only talking about extraction shooters here, I'm talking about shooters in general. So we're just gonna freestyle in this one. I am not gonna read from a script in this one because I just got through playing the test and it's all fresh in my mind. I know what I wanna talk about, I know what I wanna say, but I did reference a cheat sheet here so I didn't forget the main points. If you see me looking at this screen, I'm looking at my cheat sheet. We're gonna start with what's most obvious about this game and what you will probably notice right away, what I noticed right away, and that is the environments of the game. The environments look amazing. When you jump in, you're thrown into a tutorial. It's all very commonplace. Hey, we're gonna let you get used to the mechanics. Here's a tutorial, little mode, get into it. Right away, the weather effects, the environment, it looks amazing. The map with those weather effects, it's dynamic, it's alive. And we're gonna get to that later in the video because that's a key point. It feels great, it feels fluid, it runs well, it performs well. I'm not going from 130 frames down to 50. That's something that's extremely difficult, apparently, to achieve nowadays. Even though we have all of the best technology, we're getting games from AAA developers and indie developers that either have one or the other. They don't have both. You get performance, it looks pretty bad. You get it looking good and it doesn't perform well at all. Arc Raiders seems to have figured out how to bring both of those together. Go figure. So I'd say that's probably what you're gonna notice right away. It's definitely what I noticed. Now, there isn't anything really to talk about in terms of the tutorial. It's just to get you used to the game, the mechanics of looting, maybe using meds, shooting, various things like that. So there's nothing really going on there. Moving on to what feels really nice about the game is the character and gunplay. So when you boot into the tutorial and when you actually get into the game, into a match, the character controller feels good. It's a third-person game, it's not a first-person game. The character controller, however, feels good, feels nice. It's got weight to it, but not so much weight that you feel like a total sloth. Not quite to the degree of Tarkov where you're just really clunky and slow at first and you have to level up and level up. It feels good, it feels nice. The ability to mantle and climb obstacles is amazing. It's such a basic concept, and why that's left out of games these days or just added way later in the life cycle of games, especially shooters, is beyond me. You should be able to mantle, to vault, to climb up onto obstacles, over them, whatever the case may be. And it feels good in this game. It actually works. It's not like playing Warzone and you can't walk over a rock. Your character will not step over a ledge. You're just stuck there. In this game, they actually crawl over it, climb over it, initiate the mantle. It's fantastic. Occasionally in close quarters, the third person can get a little wonky, but that just comes down to getting used to playing in third person, and when you're inside buildings and the camera wants to get a little squirrely on you, depending on how tight you are, it's just something that you have to get used to. Moving around in a building like that in first person, it's a lot different when you're in third. The guns in the game were nice. You start off with a variety of weapons to choose from. There's an SMG, I think a couple of ARs, a shotgun, a marksman rifle, a sniper, and you have the ability to find these weapons, pick them up off of other players. You can craft them if you get that far, which obviously now the tech test is over, so that doesn't matter anymore, but those will be features there when the game does release. There were a variety of grenades and plantable mines, which you would come to expect from anything that was war or shooter related. You also had a variety of weapon modifications. Some modifications weren't compatible with all weapons, but you had your standard suppressors, stocks, compensators, grips, various things of that nature, extended magazines, on and on. There are a lot of what you would expect in this game mechanics wise from any shooter as well as any extraction looter shooter. Nothing too crazy new there. The same can be said for the healing mechanisms of the game. Your character has base health and you do have the option to either craft or purchase a shield that ranges from light to heavy. Again, these are all things that that will probably be fleshed out further once the game actually releases, but it's all pretty straightforward. Stems that can give you adrenaline boosts, recharge your shields, different types of bandages, on and on and on. Again, all very commonplace. The sound, something we haven't talked about yet, but the sound of the game. The sound of the game was really nice. The ambiance of the map was great. The weather effects and all of the different just sort of ambiance going on around you was great. It was great to have. The footstep audio sounded nice, your character sounds nice, the guns sound nice, and the robotics and all of this tech that they have going on in the world, in the landscape. It's not so overbearing that it becomes annoying with the sound, but it's there enough to make you aware that it's a threat, and it sounds good. They have differentiation in the way that each one of these robotics sounds, and the pillars and different things like that. They have a unique sound design, and I enjoyed it. I liked that part of it. Now, Arc Raiders overall, it's a solid game for a tech test. I mean, fantastic for a tech test. I mean, holy crap. When the game is actually fully fleshed out and released, I think it's going to be a rock solid choice to have in the catalog. And if you've never played an extraction shooter before, this will be a great place to start. A true AAA experience that's helping move the bar forward so that hopefully other people pick up on how this has been received and say, hey, these are the types of things that we need to be doing. A couple of those points I'm going to touch on here at the end of the video. But before we get into that, it wasn't all rainbows and sunshine. There were a few gripes that I did have about Arc Raiders, and they're really just more constructive criticisms. So first and foremost, the default loadouts, and again, it's a tech test. You're not going to have the best guns in the game, and you're not going to be able to craft or workbench and all that stuff we're used to. You're not going to be able to do that all the way to the top in a tech test. But the default loadouts were pretty underwhelming, to be honest. I wish that we would have had slightly more upgraded weapons to start, just to really get a good strong feel of what the combat could be like. The default AR that you're given, I don't remember the names, but I think maybe the Rattler, I'm not 100% sure. It only has a 10 round magazine. And okay, I get that they're wanting you perhaps to just be more methodical with your fights and really have to hit your shots, but 10 bullets, man, for an AR is nothing, especially if you miss a few. And if you're not used to shooting in third person, you're probably gonna miss a few. So I found that it took quite a lot of ammo sometimes to fully kill people. That's including knocking them and then fully finishing them. And I know you don't have to shoot them to finish them, but if you're at a distance, you're probably gonna try to shoot them, right? So having to go through 3 or 4 magazines because your gun only has 10 bullets in it, I wasn't really pleased with that. The only other gun that I really tried to spend a lot of time with was the SMG, and the SMG's recoil pattern is all over the place. Even with a compensator on it, which is supposed to reduce the recoil by 20% horizontally or vertically, it was a mess. If I was not within 5 to 10 feet of an enemy, I was not going to hit a single shot with the SMG. That's just my experience. Maybe I just wasn't used to aiming with it. The SMG's recoil was absurd. Now again, those are just goofy complaints about the guns. I mean, I get it, they're default loadouts. You do have the ability to build benches, to craft and upgrade and all that. Again, very standard, very typical. I know that that's very easy to overcome by just leveling up your weapons. But if you're given default weapons in the game to start with, which you probably will be, it seems reasonable to me to maybe include a gun like an AR that has 20 rounds to begin with instead of 10. I mean, unless the bullet type is going to be a factor and a consideration and it's going to pack more punch, which it did not seem to at all, then 10 is just very, very minimal. In terms of looting, I thought looting felt good. I thought that, you know, the way that you acquire loot was very on point with other extraction shooters. There was one thing that I did notice though that was kind of quirky, which is if you walk up to a box or a crate or whatever it is, it's kind of like Tarkov. You have to be in a specific position before it will allow you to loot that box. You can can see the icon for looting pop up, but if you're not right in front of it, it won't work. So I thought that was a little cumbersome. I would like that area, that box, whatever that is that's attached to that asset. I'd like it to be able to be approached from the side as well as directly in front, maybe not behind, obviously, but kind of broaden that and expand it a little so you don't have to be right in front of that object to loot it. Moving on to the healing, when you apply bandages to your character in this game, you get a blue halo effect, like a blue vignetting around the screen. Everyone's pretty familiar, you know, like your health slows, starts closing in on your eyes. Well, this one actually happens when you apply health to yourself. A blue halo vignetting starts to come in, indicating that you are healing. Completely unnecessary in my opinion. I don't think it should be in the game at all. It's distracting. There's no reason that there needs to be a visual cue that blocks your vision, especially if you're trying to heal in the middle of a gunfight. There should be no visual distortion on the screen at all that indicates you're healing. Maybe a quick pulse or a quick flash when you stick yourself, sure, but seeing your health bar go up, that's enough. Anyone who's played any game knows, whether it's an RPG, a shooter, whatever it is, that when you heal, you have a health bar and it goes up. Everyone is already used to that. I think that the blue vignetting should be taken out of the game and it should be replaced perhaps with like an on-screen pulse indicating that you have stuck yourself, or just not at all. I think we're at the point now where relying on a health bar to show you that your health is regenerating is enough. Now to switch back to loot and looting, the loot itself is one thing that has always made extraction shooters kind of sort of a hit or miss. Now, one thing that makes Tarkov so great, and Arena Breakout does this, you know, Gray Zone Warfare kind of had it the same way, but one thing that makes looting so great in Tarkov is that you get an entire item. And what I mean by that is when you have looted an object, let's say you have looted a fuel tank. Well, in Tarkov, for example, a fuel tank is a 2x2 item. It takes up 4 total slots. It's a 2x2, takes up 4 slots. It's a larger item than, let's say, if I were to go in and pick up a bandage, that's 1 slot, right? It gives you more of a sense of connection to the items that you're looting in the game, and it absolutely 100% makes the high tier items that you loot in the game feel far more valuable. Now, I know in terms of clutter and maybe optimization, having these tiny little 1 square icons for everything might be better, but it really takes me, and I feel like it probably takes a lot of players out of the game and away from what it is they're actually carrying when all of it's just the same thing. It's just a row of squares. The icons are really small. You can't really tell what it is. You have to click on it to see it. There's no delineation between, oh, I just found a badass sniper rifle and I just picked up a can of Coke, but they both take up the same amount of space in my inventory. One's just a different color. You see what I'm saying? It provides so much more of a sense of attachment when you have to look into your backpack and look into your vest and say, I have this much space to work with. I've got these items and I need to mentally sort through them, the game of Tetris that it becomes, to figure out what I want to keep and what I don't want to keep based on its size and based on its value. I think that this game absolutely needs to do away, at least in terms of your character, not necessarily the hideout or the stash, but in terms of the character, do away with the 1 single slot where everything just fits into a square. It's very mobile gamey, you know, it's just what it makes you think of, a mobile game, and expand that to actually be a full grid that you have to work to manage, and make the loot that you pick up directly a reflection of that. That would absolutely do nothing but benefit this game. My last and final piece of constructive criticism about the game is it kind of reminded me of Apex Legends when I knocked somebody. It works in a very similar way. You don't kill somebody instantly, you knock. They go to the ground, they can be revived before they're fully killed. They shoot a flare off into the air indicating they've been knocked. Well, in Apex Legends, you have what's called a knockdown shield to protect you from incoming damage. It's really annoying. If you've ever played, you understand. Well, in this game, you don't have a shield, but it still takes takes a while to kill somebody who's been knocked. A little bit longer than I think it should have. Again, kind of harkening back to only having 10 bullets. If I have to change my magazine once, twice, 3 times to kill somebody who I've already knocked, it just I don't enjoy that way of fighting. If I've knocked somebody, I want to be able to fully finish that person within 1 extra magazine tops. Depending on the weapon, maybe even half. That could be adjusted. It could also be gotten used to just from having an upgraded weapon, but that's really a gripe that, I'll probably get over. So all in all, folks, to conclude this video, Arc Raiders was awesome. The tech test was awesome. I'm glad I was able to get a code to check it out, even though it was only for a couple days. The tech test was awesome. Arc Raiders represents something that may not be perfect, but that hits directly on things that I've talked about in the past about what extraction shooters needed to evolve. And they absolutely knocked it out of the freaking park, killed it with the environments. The environments have scale, they have dynamicism with weather, but not only like rain and clouds, but active and ongoing events, not only through weather, but just the robotics that are roaming around the map. And it feels like it has a good balance, other players, things like that. So it's not perfect, but it's something that's raising the bar. I really do imagine Battlefield gameplay being in a world like that. If this type of world and level design could be taken into a game like Battlefield or Call of Duty Battle Royale, I think that could be the genre defining game for who knows how long. Mixing those elements, raising that bar, getting away from everything being so static and jagged and lifeless, and creating these dynamic, alive worlds and environments to be in. Doesn't have to be future tech, doesn't have to be robotic science fiction, it can be anything, but these guys are killing it, man. I think this game's gonna do very well on console and PC. I'm looking forward to playing it. I'm looking forward to seeing everything that gets hashed out when it comes to Arc Raiders. Embark Studios is the developer from the finals. If you guys have any clue what that is, you've got some ex-Battlefield DICE people in there, so the influence is strong. I'm excited for it, man. I think that this game is hopefully going to help elevate the genre in a whole new way, and I'm interested in seeing what happens with everything going forward. So anyway, folks, thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure to give it a like, it's totally free, and subscribe. We also do stream every week here on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, damn near every platform. There's links all over the place. I'll see you guys online.